Hi everyone, Kevin speaking from Hope Capital. So today I'm going to be explaining about the market structure and the trend lines. So one of my mentors told me that when in trading, whatever you are doing, you should always be following the trend. So you're either buying or selling with the trend. So how do you then identify the trend? You identify the trend through the market structure. And what then is the market structure? The market structure is the way this Forex market moves, right? So the market, when it's moving, it's either going up or it's either going down. So this is the trend, right? It's either trending, going up or going down. So when it's moving, it'll be creating highs and lows, high levels and low levels. So I'm going to be explaining this in diagrams, and then we'll then go to our charts, and then we'll try to identify the market structure, the high lows, the lows, and all that, etc. So let's say the market is starting from this point, right? And then it goes up, right? This means this is a level, right? It has created a high, right? And then it goes down. The market has created a low, okay? Then it goes up again. The market has created a high that is higher than the previous high, right? And then it goes down. Now the market has created a low that is higher than the previous low. And then we also have another high that is created by the market, which is higher than the previous high, and a low which is higher than the previous low. And then we go on, etc. as it is, right? So I'm going to name these highs, but I'm sure if you can understand, if you're a fast learner, you've already understood what I'm saying. So this was our first high, right? This was our first high, and this was our first low, right? And our second high, which is what we are going to name the higher high. Why is it the higher high? Because it's higher than the previous high, so it's a higher high. And this one is a low, right? But it's higher than the previous low, so it's a lower, it's a higher low, sorry. It's a higher low. Let me just erase this. It's a higher low, so it's quite confusing, but it's not something that you should be worried about. So this right here, it's a higher low because it's higher than the previous low. And then we also have a higher high again here, right? A higher high and a higher low, right? And we have a higher high. Unfortunately, I can't draw it in any anymore. And we have the higher low here. So this is what this is more of the basics of the market structure. So I'm also going to explain on the lows and the highs in a downtrend. This was in an uptrend, right? So let me just erase this so that we can do the downtrend. All right. So now we're doing the opposite now. So on a downtrend, right, we have the market is going down. We have a low, right, that has been created by the market, and then it goes up, right? That's a high, and then it goes down again. This is a low, right? That is lower than the previous low, right? And then we have a high that is lower than the previous high. We have a low again, that is lower than the previous low. We have a high, that is lower than the previous high. We have a low again, that is lower than the previous low, and a high, which is lower than the previous high. And then we're also going to name them, right? So we started off with the low. This was a low, this was a high, right? This was a lower high, right? This was a lower low, and then we had a lower high, right? And a lower low, and a lower high again, and a lower low, right? So this is basically the market structure in downtrend, right? So we are now explaining on the trend lines now. So don't worry about cramming or trying to name the highs and all that. What you need to understand is just the concept, just the art, because some people don't even know about these lower highs, but they can still be successful in the markets. But this is just for you to understand. So what then is the trend line? So if we're in an uptrend, right? If we are in an uptrend, it means our market is going up. So what's a trend line? So this is a line that is going to connect our lows, right? So if we draw a line here, right? So this is odd. It doesn't mean that it's supposed to be touching the trend line, right? So if the market is going up, it has to go up in a trend. So we're going to plot our trend line from at least maybe 3 lows. There must be 3 touches to that trend line so that it can be a trend line. So if we have 1, we have 2, we have the 3rd touch here. So we can say this is officially a trend line, which is an uptrend. So what's our next move? Our next move is to wait for the market to come down to the trend line, and then we either buy there, and then the market goes up. And then the same applies to the downtrend. The same applies to the downtrend, only that it's the trend line will be touching the highs, not the lows, when we're in a downtrend. So I'm going to explain to you guys on the downtrend, right? So we have our downtrend like this, right? We have our downtrend like this. The market is going where? It's going down. And this here is our trend line, right? So we have 3 touches to the trend line, so meaning that this is officially a downtrend. So our next move is to wait for the market to come up there, right, to the trend line, and then we take a trade there, we sell there, and the market goes down. So that's how you make profit in the markets, right? So once you draw your trend lines, once you master your market structure, you draw your trend lines. It's as simple as that. You draw your trend lines. You just look for 3 touches on that same trend line. Then the trend line will be valid. Then you wait for the next touch. After that next touch, you either sell or you buy, right? So now I'm going to explain as well on how to take a trade in the downtrend or in the uptrend. Right, so I'm going to erase this, right? So we have an uptrend here. This is an uptrend, right? 1, 2, and then 3, and then 4. So after I draw my trend line like that there, If I draw my trend line like that, on the next move, I'm going to wait for the market to come down there, right? And then touch this trend line. And then I place my order there, I buy there, and then the market goes up there. If it goes up like that, I'll then make money. That's the profits that we are looking for, right? And then we also have an example of the downtrend, right? The market is going down like this, right? And we have a trend, we have our trend line. Sorry, this was too much. So we have a trend going down like that, 2, and then the third touch, and then we have the fourth touch. So this here is our trend line, right? That's our trend line. Maybe it's supposed to be like this. So we're going to wait for the market to come up there, and touch the trend line, and then we sell there, and then the market goes down, and then we make our profits, right? So in the next video, I'm going to be explaining this on the charts and not on the drawing chart, right?